I used to just go with whatever meat looked good or was on sale at the grocery store. But now that I've experienced the exceptional quality, flavor, and convenience that you can get from Omaha Steaks, I'm never going back. They can build a custom food plan based on your schedule, which means less food waste and stocking up on high-quality proteins to always have on hand. With Omaha Steaks in your freezer, you're always just minutes away from a quality dinner. Whether it's Taco Tuesday or a weekend feast, taste the Omaha Steaks difference and never settle for grocery proteins again. Get flavorful, high-quality proteins delivered by visiting omahasteaks.com. Plus $35 off when you use promo code YUM at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, code YUM. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code YUM at checkout for $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply.
Hello, book lovers. Welcome to Must Love Books. Hello and welcome back to Must Love Books podcast. Today, I am here with Falencia Jean-Francois, author of the upcoming novel, Devil of the Deep. Devil of the Deep comes from Left Unread Books from Bindery. If you remember, last year, 2025, we had the owner of Left Unread Books on the podcast, Michael LeBourne. So if you're interested in checking out his episode, scroll back to episode 94, The Importance of Pre-Orders for Black Authors with Michael LeBourne of Left Unread Books. And without further ado, Falencia, hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you on. I am super excited for Devil of the Deep, which is releasing everywhere April 7th. So this is a pre-order episode for all of our listeners today to get you excited about this incredible new novel that I'm so excited to check out.
Yes, thank you. And the pre-orders are so important. So I'm super excited to be getting people excited about potentially pre-ordering Devil of the Deep.
So without any further ado, let's dive right into Devil of the Deep and tell our listeners a little bit about it.
Sure. Devil of the Deep is a queer Haitian pirates and mermaids fantasy adventure story. It follows the journey of a young mermaid who is chased out of her community, her undersea community, by an authoritarian regime. And she winds up in the care of a cutthroat pirate who takes her on as passenger, much to the chagrin of her crew. And as they're figuring out how they relate to each other, this pirate and this mermaid, they discover that the mermaid has something that the folks who had chased her out want, an important artifact. And all of a sudden, we're thrust into this game of cat and mouse. There are twists and there are turns, and it's just a really fun ride for anyone who reads it.
Why don't you introduce some of your characters for our listeners?
There are three main characters in Devil of the Deep. We have Nena, our fearsome pirate captain, and we have Pearl, our young teenage mermaid who is struggling with her devotion to an all-powerful sea god. And then we also have Lou, our fleet officer, who has been tasked with finding Pearl and bringing back the artifact that she has. Their relationships to each other are already complicated, but as the story progresses, they find that they must choose where their loyalties lie or risk unleashing an ancient curse that could change the world as they know it.
One thing that I really love about Devil of the Deep is the original mythology that we are really missing from a lot of fantasy books today.
Yes, one of my goals in writing Devil of the Deep was to really bring to light the richness and beauty of the mythology that exists in Haitian culture. Devil of the Deep focuses specifically on Haitian voodoo, which is a little bit stigmatized, which I've learned in my research. You know, people associate voodoo with dark magic and superstitions, and to a certain extent, there is some truth to those ideas, but this wonderful pantheon of gods that exist very much in the same way that, Greek gods exist and Norse gods exist. And I really wanted to highlight that this is a huge part of Haitian culture as well.
Such an underrepresented culture in fiction overall, especially in fantasy, I believe. So I'm just really excited for readers to get their hands on this and to kind of broaden their own horizons and for diversity in our fantasy worlds.
Absolutely. I have made it my personal mission to bring to light not just my own Haitian culture, but all of the marginalized identities that exist within myself and within, the people that I consider a part of my community, and to make it apparent that we are all human, and that we all deserve human consideration. So, writing this book is just one way that I'm doing that.
And of course, it's really time to just bring back pirates and mermaids back
Oh,
into
for sure.
popularity again. I am a huge anything with pirates or mermaids, I'm already there. Like that was all I needed to hear to be wholly gung-ho about this book because it is time for the pirate and mermaid renaissance.
I agree 100%. I've held Pirates and Mermaids in my heart for a very long time, since I was a teenager. I like to say that every uh, teenager goes through like a rebellious phase, and it's either like pirates or witchcraft or um, wizards, but like our personalities start to develop and we start to, not to get too, psychological, philosophical, as we start to like separate from our upbringing and like develop ourselves as who we want, like the mysticism and the power and the coolness of a life on the sea. And um so I really was excited to be able to channel that spirit of my teenage self and just bring it back, hopefully.
Yes, and I am here for it, 100%. Do you want to talk a little bit about your inspiration behind your characters?
My characters, this is going to sound really self-indulgent, but my characters are all me. For a little bit of context, religious deconstruction plays a huge part in the story of Devil of the Deep. All of the main characters are wrestling with their relationship with the religious powers in the book. Each of the main characters represents my relationship with a religious organization at different points in my life. So Pearl, who is my young teenage impressionable mermaid, was me at my most innocent, where I only saw the organization for what it could offer me, in terms of family and consistency and basic resources. And so I wholeheartedly believed everything that that organization told me. Moving later in my life, I compare myself to Lou, who is the most obedient, to the needs of the organization. Having spent years and years being indoctrinated, Lou is willing to do what it takes to further the mission. And that was definitely me, in my teenage to early adulthood years. And then finally, we have Nena, who is fiery and has seen the organization for what it is and realizes that, she's basically been deceived. And that was representative of the process of my own deconstruction, of seeing behind the curtain of the organization that I was involved with and learning that it didn't actually serve me or the people that it claimed to serve. Those are the three main characters, and they are the three facets of myself. And I will also say that Nena's characterization is also a little bit Jack Sparrow, because you can't have a pirate captain without thinking about Jack Sparrow, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Like Jack Sparrow is kind of the one who started the more contemporary pirate craze for many of us. So there
Mm-hmm.
always has to be, a little bit of an inspiration there from him.
Oh, yes, the swagger.
The swagger, exactly, exactly. And I have to say, I love your approach to character creation and how you allowed each of these characters to truly represent an aspect of yourself in a different time of your life to really just tell your own story while telling their story. I think that is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
And I love, I get authors on here who are like, yes, this one character is, this character is me. But to have all of the characters, or all of the main characters, I should say, to be reflective of a certain aspect of yourself or a part of your life, I think that is just a truly unique way of building your characters and building this world.
I wish I could take credit for it, but I'm pretty sure I stole the idea from Carl Jung, who I think theorized that everyone in your dreams is yourself. And so I kind of took that idea and ran with it.
I love it. I'm here for it. Let's talk a little more about the inspiration of the world building behind your story and how you approached world building in Devil of the Deep.
Whenever I write a story, I always want the world to be its own character. The advice that I give to anyone who's willing to take advice from me when you're creating your world is you want it to feel as though it has existed before your character's story happened, and it will continue to exist after the story is done. And so I lucked out in that the world that I wanted to create sort of already exists. The world of Devil of the Deep is based heavily on Haiti um, in the early to mid 18th century. And so there's a little bit of history and there's a little bit of my own experience. I was born in Haiti and I lived there until I was 3, but visited many times as a child. And just, I did tons and tons of research into literally like what would it feel like to walk down this particular road in Haiti at this time to make it feel real. I did take one very large liberty in making the world queer normative because that is my mission in life is to marry the idea of Haitian identities and queer identities. And so I created a world in which nobody cares who is queer and who isn't.
As the world should.
Yes.
And one thing, so authors obviously do not read their reviews on Goodreads, but I do read the reviews on Goodreads. And I just want to let all of our listeners know that the ARC reviewers for Devil of the Deep have overwhelmingly labeled Devil of the Deep as effortlessly queer and such a positive representation of diversity and LGBT positive representation as well.
I do stay away from reviews as much as possible, but I have loved and appreciated receiving reviews from ARC readers. And effortlessly queer is, I think, the highest of praise because, as I said, I want to marry the idea of queer identities with Haitian culture. There's a huge divide right now between those two identities, especially in Haiti, where the majority of Haitians don't believe that queer Haitians exist. And so the more that I hear that my book is, representative of Haitian culture and effortlessly queer, the more that I feel that I am closer to accomplishing this mission of mine.
And I love that. I love that so much for you. And, I hope that our listeners pick up a copy of Devil of the Deep. They jump on the pre-order campaign because pre-orders are so important for indie authors and independent publishing companies like Left Unread Books. So I'm just really, really hoping that listeners today check it out.
Me too.
Like, yes, actually, we just pre-order the book. Thanks, guys. Such an eloquent way. I'll just say pre-order now. Thanks. Bye. So, Valencia, do you have anything else that you would like to discuss today?
Well, I is it okay if I plug myself for a minute?
Yes, absolutely. Go
Okay.
for it. It's your
So
episode.
I wrote Devil of the Deep. So, like I said, I am determined to unite all marginalized identities under one flag and showcase our humanity so that the powers that are responsible for our marginalization understand us and see us as human beings so that we can um, gain the same level of consideration as everyone else. Writing Devil of the Deep is one part of that. But I've also started I don't know what to call it, a movement, a campaign, maybe a cult, um, called We Devils, where we, the devils of society, unite and we sing our songs of praise for ourselves. Oh, that sounds really culty. We celebrate ourselves and showcase ourselves so that our humanity is undeniable. You can see it all over social media. I make We Devils videos as much as possible, but I also have a podcast called We Devils, where I sit down with a fellow devil and we talk about all of the amazing things that we're doing to uplift marginalized voices. So if you're interested in another awesome podcast, please check out We Devils on Spotify.
And I will also put a link for We Devils as well as all of your links, Falencia, in the podcast description to make it easier for everyone to find.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. I want to thank you again so much for joining me on Must Love Books podcast. And for our listeners, please go check out Devil of the Deep by Falencia Jean-Francois. Pre-order a copy now. The book releases April 7th. You can pre-order from bookshop.org. You can request it from your local indie bookstores. You can also buy Devil of the Deep directly from Left Unread Books by going to leftunreadbooks.binderybooks.com. You can pre-order a copy there as well and check out some other incredible titles that will be releasing soon from Left Unread Books. And yeah, just pre-order. It's a great book. You're going to love it.
Yes. I would also suggest requesting it from your local library. We love libraries.
Yes. Get it in your libraries. Recommend it to other readers. Tell them to request it from your libraries because libraries, sometimes you need a few people to request something before they can get approval for it. So if you get a couple people to request from your local library, that really helps too. All right, Falencia, do you have any final words you would like to share with our listeners today?
Just thank you so much for having me on. I always appreciate opportunities to spread the word about Devil of the Deep.
Absolutely. So happy to have you here. Excited to see what you have coming next for us. Thank you everyone for listening. This has been Must Love Books. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon under @Must Love Books Podcast. Thank you and happy reading.